Good Friday evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, joining you from the newsroom to talk about this Arctic blast that's on the way overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And while today it was pretty nice, we had high temperatures in the low 60s. Well, that's going to be long gone by the end of the night. Temperatures are dropping fairly quickly right now, and we've started to fall into the 40s even for some spots along the coast. So throughout the rest of the night, it's going to be getting cold. Not only will it be cold, it's going to be windy as well. So by tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to plummet into the mid-20s along the coast. As we get past midnight, our temperatures will start to get closer and closer to freezing, but this Arctic blast really going to be bringing in the cold air by early Saturday. And of course, when you factor in the wind, that's going to make it feel even colder. In terms of any chances for snow, it's just not in the cards for us at this point. Things are going to stay very dry here across South Mississippi. So while it is going to be really cold, we are not going to be seeing any snow or wintry mix with this. So in terms of travel issues, you're good to go on that end. However, hopefully the heat is working well in your car if you have to be out and about tomorrow morning, and if you have to be outside, highly recommend your thickest jacket, gloves, a hat. You're going to want it if you spend much time outside at all tomorrow morning. So this is right around 7 o'clock, our forecast low temperatures, low to mid 20s pretty much across the board. Farther inland, you have a better chance of reaching the low 20s. We're looking at temperatures in the mid 20s along the coast. Before heading to bed tonight, you may want to let your faucets drip. Hopefully your exposed pipes are wrapped up, because this could potentially cause some issues with pipes tomorrow morning with temperatures getting this low. People, pets, and plants obviously need to be protected as well. So it's going to be cold overnight tonight, and it's going to be windy. It kind of adds insult to injury there. So the wind chill tomorrow morning farther inland has a pretty good chance of reaching the single digits. Along the coast, low teens for the wind chill tomorrow morning. And we may see the wind gust around 20 to 30 miles per hour overnight tonight and into Saturday morning. Tomorrow morning, a great morning to stay inside, have an extra cup of coffee if you're able to. If you're lucky enough to have a fireplace, enjoy that. It's not going to be the best morning to be outside, that's for sure. Looks like last we checked in Gulfport, we've dropped to 46 right now. It's breezy. We have winds out of the north and west. Wind chill coming in at 41, and that northwest wind continues to bring in that colder air from the north and west. Looks like Poplarville now has dropped to 40. We're at 42 in Wiggins, 42 in Perkinston. Still looking at some of those upper 40s in parts of southern Jackson County. So this cooler air is moving in from the north and west, and it's moving into the southeast. Not too far to our north, Hattiesburg. They've already dropped to 36, 32 in Jackson. We can see that cold air in North Mississippi, where they really don't need it, with still ongoing power outages across the northern part of the state. Tunica, Tupelo, they're already in the mid-20s, 28 up into Greenville, and it looks like Mobile, Pensacola starting to feel a little bit more of the chill in the air. 63 right now in Miami, but let's take more note of that cold air to our north. That Arctic blast already bringing impacts to Bismarck, Omaha, Kansas City, where they have temperatures in the single digits, and also 10. 5 is the current temperature up into Cincinnati. So that cold air will continue to work its way in overnight tonight along the Gulf Coast. And get this, some parts of South Florida this weekend may also see some lows in the 20s and 30s. So this Arctic blast going to be bringing a lot of impacts to parts of the East Coast and even South Florida. So the setup is that we've got a strengthening area of low pressure across the East Coast right now, close to the Carolinas. This system likely going to bring with it some wintry weather to parts of coastal South and North Carolina this weekend, where they are under winter storm warnings. Now for us, we're on the back side of this area of low pressure. That's bringing in some drier air. It's just going to be cold and windy for us. Could there potentially be maybe a few flurries? The odds are very, very slim. They're not zero. Just would not get your hopes up for anything like that. We are just in for some cold, windy weather heading into Saturday. Like I mentioned, South Florida even getting in on this Arctic blast. Look at the extent of all the extreme cold warnings. That goes for most of Mississippi, Alabama, looks like all of Georgia, and even looks like into parts of South Florida. Even if they're not under that extreme cold warning, we've got some freeze warnings in effect for parts of Florida as well. So always interesting to see how far south this cold air is going to get. So certainly making its impact to wrap up the month of January. So not only is it getting cold, it's also going to be windy overnight tonight. We're going to see winds start to pick up even more by Saturday morning. Some gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour will be possible. Over the water, the sound and offshore areas, a gale warning remains in effect. We're looking at seas tomorrow as high as 18 feet. For offshore areas. Not a good day to take your boat out. Plus, it's going to be so cold throughout the day. Our high temperatures tomorrow actually staying in the mid-30s. And we will keep that strong wind in place throughout the afternoon. Gust of 25 to 30 miles per hour will be possible. And because that wind is out of the north, that's certainly going to make it feel even colder. So I know we have some day parades going on in Ocean Springs tomorrow. That gets rolling at 1 o'clock. Boy, is it going to be cold, and it's going to be windy. Setting up for the parade, if you're going to be getting there a little early, we're going to be just above freezing at that point. High temperatures tomorrow topping out in the mid, maybe the upper 30s, but even that could be a stretch. If there's one nice thing, we've got a lot of sunshine in the forecast tomorrow. No rain, no snow for the parade. It's just going to be downright cold, and it will continue to be windy throughout the day with winds out of the north and northwest. Actual temperatures tomorrow, again, in the mid-30s, a few degrees above freezing. Factor in the strong wind in place. The wind chill tomorrow afternoon is going to be in the upper teens and low 20s, and that goes for all of South Mississippi tomorrow. The sunshine really not going to be doing much at all, but it will make for a prettier day, I guess, overall, but maybe not feeling so good if you're going to be spending some time outside. Now, as we get into Saturday night and Sunday, we do expect to see another deep freeze. So temperatures tomorrow morning, obviously starting off in the 20s. By tomorrow afternoon, we're mainly looking at the mid-30s. Some of our inland areas may even struggle to get above freezing. There are some indications that Pearl River, Stone, George County, you may be spending roughly 20 to 24 hours at and below freezing starting on Saturday afternoon. Not completely out of the question. Along the coast, we are looking at temperatures more so in the mid-30s, but once we get past the sunset on Saturday, our temperatures are really going to drop very, very quickly. So by Sunday morning, temperatures, these are temperatures expected to be in the upper teens, maybe a few low 20s, but because the air is so dry and the wind is going to be calmer, Saturday night and into Sunday, we'll have the opportunity for seeing temperatures in the teens, even along the coast. Not completely out of the question. This is beginning Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. How many hours may you spend below freezing? More so looking at the upper teens along the coast, maybe roughly 16 to 19 hours. Inland areas, you may be spending 20 to 24 hours roughly at or below freezing. Again, starting Saturday night and going into Sunday morning. So this could easily be one of the coldest mornings so far of the season. Could we be breaking or setting some new records? That is certainly going to be possible, especially for Moss Point. And that's really because we don't have our records going back too far. Records for Moss Point at the Trent Lott International Airport only go back to 1997. So I think it's going to be very easy to set or break that record of 32. For Gulfport and Biloxi, a little bit tougher, but at this point, if we hit the upper teens, we're really going to be breaking those records with flying colors on a Sunday morning. So could potentially have some new record lows by the end of the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. So starting off early Sunday morning in the teens, Sunday afternoon, a little warmer than Saturday. Nothing warm necessarily about it, but we're going to be back into the mid-40s by the afternoon. Now we have the Biloxi Parade going on. That begins at 11 o'clock at Point Cadet, and that goes until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Not going to be as windy, still keeping a little bit of a breeze in place on Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-40s in the afternoon, but once again, we're looking at a good bit of sunshine, so we've got that going for us. And our low temperatures by Monday morning are still going to be in the 20s. So heads up that Sunday into Monday morning, we're looking at another hard freeze. Now, once we get into the middle of the week, our temperatures are going to be recovering pretty well. By Tuesday morning, by Wednesday morning, it does look like we are going to be above freezing, especially by Wednesday morning. Our high temperatures by Monday and Tuesday back in the 50s. We should easily get into the 60s by the middle of the week, which is much closer to normal for this time of the year. And then as we get into Thursday and Friday, it could be a little bit cooler. Signs are showing another front moving in at some point Wednesday into Thursday, but it does not look like an Arctic blast at this point. But a heads up that front on Wednesday may bring with it some scattered showers throughout the day. That's our next best chance of getting any wet weather. And we may be cooling back down into the 30s once again by Thursday morning and Friday morning. But nothing compared to what is on the way this weekend. Again, overnight tonight, we're looking at temperatures low to mid 20s. That happens just before the sunrise tomorrow. It's going to be blustery throughout the day on Saturday. Wind chills tomorrow afternoon in the teens and 20s. Our actual temperatures are going to be in the 30s. 19 for our low on Sunday morning along the coast. Brutally cold. And so we are hoping that everybody takes precautions in terms of protecting your pipes, along with people, pets, and plants. Maybe checking on some neighbors to make sure that they're able to stay warm, or if you know of any elderly family members or friends, you want to make sure that they can stay warm as well. So the time now is 9:28. We will be having our 10 o'clock newscast coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll have another update on this frigid forecast, plus all the latest news going on in South Mississippi. So we hope you join us here shortly at 10 o'clock.